Hello, and welcome to another question of the week. Anime-chan revived podcast, whatever. I don't even know what it's called, but the important part is that it's really fun segment in the week where I ask a question to my Discord community and they give me interesting answers and we talk about it and sometimes we fight about it. The 2 weeks ago I asked a question about the best male characters after we did a video about the best female characters. And I thought it would be fun to add, like, the worst ones in there also. And I was quite surprised uh, last time because I only got through half the answers. So that's why we're doing a part two. I was quite surprised, to read certain names, like Gon and more so Naruto. But I feel like the Naruto answer was more about Naruto the story rather than Naruto the character. I'm not sure. So I thought I'd lead back into I connect part one with part two by just reading something I sent to my mod about like venting about the whole Naruto thing, like because I didn't really understand it, but I do think it's just important to think about, and I would like to hear more about what others think. So this is just me venting. I said about, Naruto how being the Hokage's son, but for most of his life, based on what we saw, it was more of a curse than a blessing. I mean, how is it that much different from Deku, who got lucky to run into All Might and be granted special powers? He still had to train and make it his own, and that level of responsibility that he ended up carrying could have been as much of a curse as a blessing. Lots of people would have given up despite being lucky. Point is, I mean, we all have a lot more luck in our life than we realize. And another example is even Bakugo, born with good looks and amazing power, and that luck was very nearly his worst curse. It led to him being terribly conceited and a bully, and everyone actually condoning it. He could have easily become one of the worst characters in the show, but thanks to Deku and Kirishima and the others, he was saved from himself. It's not that it's not what you're born with or given or whatever, it's what you do with it. And that is still very much in line with Naruto's story, even in Shippuden. And that was for me. But then he said, since your memory of Naruto is a little bit iffy, let me explain why I think people complain about Naruto being the one. So this is an interesting, other perspective. Not the other perspective, but it's something that I couldn't see at the time because yes, I do have a little bit of an iffy memory of Naruto. It's not because he's the son of the fourth Hokage. This didn't help it. It's not because he is the son of the fourth Hokage. This didn't help him at all, or even because he has the Kyuubi. This is something unique, but he worked hard to work with her. Her powers are rightfully gained by Naruto. It's for what happened in the Lost War. At some point, they lost. Both Naruto and Sasuke are killed by Madara. Killed. Sasuke is stabbed and left there to die, and Kurama is taken from Naruto. And like any Jinchuriki that lose his beast, he's about to die. They're both saved. Sasuke by Kabuto, that is suddenly there, and Naruto by Obito, that is suddenly good, and have a bit of Kurama chakra to share. The way they were saved is a bit convenient, but typical in shonen, so we accept it. But both of them, before they woke up, have a conversation in their mind with Hagoromo, the son of Kaguya. He is the first ever born ninja. That explains that both are the direct descendants of his sons, Indra and Ashura, that they are destined to fight, and he gives them new powers, Rinnegan to Sasuke and the sixth path power to Naruto. This is the problem. The setup for this is bad. Naruto did not work hard to get this. It's a free power up because of who he is. And as far as I can remember, there are not good hints for this or like a good setup. It felt a bit out of nowhere, just to save the day. Of course, a lost second power up in shonen to save the day is pretty common, but you need to sell it to make it believable. And then he gives more reasons. But This is kind of my problem. The question was about which are the best and worst characters. And Naruto being a worst character because of like writing that you didn't like at the very end of a story. It didn't seem like it really fit maybe the discussion. And I was a bit confused because Shoru gave this answer, and I don't know, like that's at the very end of the story, and I thought my memory remembered Shoru said I stopped reading at a certain point. I didn't know they meant I stopped the reading right at the very end. That didn't make sense to me. I don't think this is the only part that people mean when they complain about Naruto. Having a problem with one power up in a show that sounds more reasonable. But people seem to say Shippuden abandoned its main themes as if it was the whole show instead of, just the final moment where it kind of it was a climax, and it was maybe not the best foreshadowed climax, but I just don't like this idea of throwing Naruto under the bus or throwing the whole of Shippuden under the bus. Um The problem with the Fourth Great Ninja War is that it's half of Shippuden and it ends with that. All right. That's the part I didn't remember. The the end of Shippuden, that war is a long war. Mm. Some do what? Some do some distinctions because it's so long, so it's hard to tell if Shoto is talking about the start of the war, the whole war, or until the Ten Tails appear, or Kaguya appears, or what. But still, you see how it seems to be about the story more than Naruto. I don't know. I just wanted to say I do understand that thing about Ashura and the last minute power up. I totally understand that. I just want to say that considering the theme of the videos, about the best and worst characters, I don't know that it's fair to throw Naruto as a character under the bus because you didn't like the end of an arc or something. I don't know. But it was interesting. And I'm here for interesting discussions, so. Hi, Cherry, nice to see you. We are reading Question of the Week answers. Last week I stopped right before Tiago's answer, and he listed his favorite male characters from 3 to 1. The third one being Shigeshige Tokugawa from Gintama. The power of his tighty whities are unmatched and indestructible. Need I say more about the comedy, as his straight man act keeps failing victim to it? Failing victim? Probably falling victim. Just like Gintama has its hilarious side, there's also a serious side. Shogun-sama is a true man of the people who goes out of his way to understand the common citizens he rules over and doesn't let his power of royalty get the better of him. Emphasis on the part where he doesn't punish Gin and his odd jobs for the comical stunts that the shogun has fallen victim to, and more so values their honesty over courtly flattery. And as if I didn't even need to double down on how fit for power he is, on top of his goal to abolish the shogun system and let the citizens govern themselves, he even, spoiler alert, gracefully accepted his fate and died for his country to make sure his survival wouldn't prolong a civil war, and despite having allies that would fight tooth and nail to keep him alive during the assassination arc. So here is the shogun, if you needed a reminder. Then 2. Kotaro Bokuto from Haikyuu. I just love Bokuto's energy, plus his signature, hey, hey, hey. It's also fun to see him go from a powerhouse to depressed over a minor setback, and then back into a powerhouse with his team. Especially Akashi managing his ego so that he gets back into the swing of his groove, which makes for a fun dynamic between Bokuto and his team. he's kind of like, he's definitely a memorable character for me, as someone who is not the great at remembering. What did I say earlier? Rememories. Snowboard was invented in 1965. People in 1964. And this is Bokuto. Hey, hey, hey. Ah, Haikyuu designs are great. And then last but not least, Tiago's favorite male character, or his best male character, Jairo Zeppeli from JoJo Steel Ball Run. I wish I could say more about Jairo, but not much I can say as a manga reader. As far as I remember, first impressions going with stage 1. Jairo took my interest early on from his introduction, as he demonstrated he was no pushover in or outside the Steel Ball Run, nor would he stand to leave a death threat unanswered, all the while giving me a good laugh as he chooses his teddy over essentials in preparation for his journey along the Steel Ball Run. He's got a great design too. Speaking of great designs, I mean, damn. Yeah, you can't say too much because they only gave us one freaking episode. But we shall see in due time. Then, interestingly, since Cherry is here, Vermilio gave an answer, and his number 3 is Levi from Attack on Titan. The way he is introduced at the beginning is quite mysterious and interesting because you become very curious to get to know him and how he fights. When we discover him, he ends up being the character who steals the scene every time he appears. The scenes of him humiliating Zeke Yeager are totally satisfying. The only human in the Attack on Titan universe that all the Titans fear. Then, in second place, we have Piccolo from Dragon Ball. A totally nostalgic character for me, mainly because of his design and the way he creates an aura every time he appears. Playing one of the best soundtracks from Zet. I really wanted to share the OST, but will probably cause copyright issues. And also, in my opinion, he's a character with the best redemption. The way that Gohan ends up transforming him in a very natural and smooth way into a good person was well constructed by Akira Toriyama, the aura farmer himself. Yeah. Arrives, farms aura, gets his ass kicked, leaves. Wow, Odinoko just here to ruffle some feathers. And then Vermilio's answer in first place is Son Goku. It's impossible not to choose him. The character I still use as a source of inspiration for my life. He may have numerous flaws, such as not being a very present husband to Chi-Chi, being clumsy at times, and being addicted to fighting hey, Chi-Chi knew who she was marrying, okay? And being addicted to fighting to the point of sometimes prioritizing it. But Goku's positive points are what stands out the most. He never gives up on his goals, always strives to surpass himself beyond his limits, and showed me that anyone has the potential to be what they dream of. You just have to want it and go after it. Plus, he has a phrase that is in the original version, but I still prefer the Brazilian dub version, which appears in the scene before he uses the dragon attack in the 13th DBZ movie, that I take as an example for life. If I don't do it, nobody will do it for me. I have to be careful. Okay. Can I skip? There we go. Quem vai fazer por mim? Oh, I remember that. Yeah, sorry, I'm a bit scared here for audio stuff, but it's a generic music, not from the movie. But still, generic music can get copy. Did I just almost say copy pasted? Ooh, a new key visual. Saga of Tanya, The Evil, Season 2. I can't wait! But we have to talk more about that in the next video, which might be next week, you know, about the new season coming up and what shows we'll be watching. In this corner, we have Dio Di Warudo. His answer in third place is Sanji. He's a controversial one for sure, but I think his faults are what appeal to me. He handicaps himself in not only hitting women, but also not fighting with his hands, due to his principles, and while they're dumb and do hinder other people and himself at times, he still sticks with it, showing his conviction and discipline despite how stupid it seems. His compassion speaks to me upon rewatches. I've caught how truly nice Sanji is, and Oda had that as a core characteristic from the start. From Gin to Usopp, Zoro, Kinemon, and Bonnie in recent arcs, he's had bad moments, especially post time skip. Pre time skip Sanji would have been number 1 for me. Post time skip? Like what? I like Sanji, up not forget Enies Lobby exists, and then I like Sanji. And then I love Sanji in the wedding cake arc. In second place, Johnny Joestar. Can't say much more. Johnny Joe. Oh, right, because the anime only aired 1 episode. So saying more would be spoiler. And then in first place, Luffy. In my opinion, is a character evolution of Goku. He's quite literally all of Goku's best parts and enhanced. He's my favorite version of the stereotypical happy shonen MC. He's sunshine captured in a bottle, with both his warmth and immense impact he leaves on the story. He's like a Superman to me. In the way I think of him, he always faces the oppressive force and beats them down, and that is cathartic to me. His emotional intelligence is also the best in any show I've seen. His emotional maturity really shows when he's put in those situations where a character isn't saying what they're feeling. Sanji feels like a more realistic version of Luffy, with flaws and such, while Luffy is the ideal everyone should be trying every day to be. Luffy has flaws. I love Luffy. Luffy's my favorite character, but Luffy has flaws. But flaws also depend on perspective. Like, Oh, I was just thinking like Sanji is the realistic version of Luffy. Like I don't really see that. I'm trying to see it. His powers are not to mention his powers are super unique, and the way he was applying them across the show was unique as well. He's super entertaining to watch or read. I'm still trying to figure out. Luffy is a more realistic. No, Sanji is a more realistic version of Luffy. In what way? You could also then say Usopp is a more realistic version of Luffy. My least favorite is Obito, mainly because of his fans. I still wouldn't like Obito without his fans though, but his fans is what sealed his fate for him being my least favorite character. His redemption arc and turn was meh. His end was sweet, but I was tired of the parallels to Naruto and Sasuke that the show was doing, just to get Madara the same role as Obito in the end, making it redundant. What did Obito fans do? So many questions! The amount of food Sanji can eat is more realistic than Luffy. I guess so, but that's the truth for every other member in the crew. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to say. If it's about core values, every Straw Hat will be a different or realistic version of Luffy. Luffy is just like the captain. They're the Straw Hats, and each Straw Hat is like, I don't know. That's why I like hearing the reasons, because you can't just tell me this character is your favorite, because I'll always have questions. But now, even though he explained it, I still have questions. The worst is always some character from Naruto. Don't say that! I had Obito as the worst as well. He's just very dislikable. Uchiha Naruto did several damage to people. Man, I barely remember him. Okay, but that's just... I should stop saying that because the more I say it, the more true it is. Obito. I mean, how is he more annoying than Madara or any other freaking Naruto villain? Like, they're all annoying. Thanks, Hanku. Booty, can you remind me in 30 minutes? This is a bit of an... Or 20 minutes. This is a bit of an awkward place to stop. I still want to read at least 1 or 2 more answers. But thank you, Hanku. Next up, we have Martin, I think. Sadly, it shows me just M, but I'm pretty sure by now this person is Martin. They tried to make him a dark Naruto. Oh, Obito. Oh, like Naruto if things went wrong kind of situation. Obito is considered annoying for being a smoke seller, focusing the plot on him only to have it hijacked by Madara. Ah. But then I want to know what Dio meant with why his fans... He had fans? He had fans? The main problem I saw with Obito is that it was a character from the Kakashi flashback. People liked him, and then Kishimoto tried to fit him into the story, and there are parts that don't make any sense. I see. I see. Okay, Martin says, I can't think of unlikable characters because they're forgettable. But I guess I would have to say Omaeda from Bleach. He's really annoying, but here are my top 3 male characters. In third place. Satoru Gojo. What makes Satoru Gojo so cool is the hidden struggle behind his perfect life. On the outside, his awesome look, funny personality, and the amazing fight scenes made by Gege make him instantly likable. But what really makes him interesting to me is his internal problem with being the strongest. His internal struggle, I guess. His massive power already actually cuts him off from everyone else, turning his strength into a lonely burden. I can't give more details because of manga spoilers, but his real motivation is very human. He uses his power to protect his students and build a new team of friends, making sure that nobody else has to feel as alone as he does. Opening of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 starts to play. 今でも Oh, 今でも青が澄んでる。Someday you'll all understand it. I can't wait for my favorite Jujutsu Kaisen manga chapter to be adapted. I mean, I already understand it even without whatever cemented it for you. This is already shown. It's just that a lot of people focus only on the fact that, ooh, he's the strongest. That's boring. And it really isn't. He has so much more to him, but we do discuss it in almost every freaking question of the week video. And my favorite part is how he has the strength to impose his will on whoever he wants, whenever he wants. He can overthrow, he can do anything, but he chooses not to. He chooses to the sustainable way. He wants to change not things by force, but by education and, I guess, not inspiration, but that's a sustainable way to change the future. Is you might not be able to change this generation that are already ingrained in their ways, but you can teach the next generation. I think that is really inspiring. But yeah, I look forward to learn more about him also. In second place by Martins, Ichigo Kurosaki. What makes Ichigo Kurosaki my favorite shonen protagonist is how genuinely relatable he is. He breaks the usual mold of the genre because he doesn't care about becoming the strongest or achieving a grand title. His conflicts are internal. His journey to discover who he truly is reflects the exact questions we all face about our own identity, our goals, and purpose in life. On top of that, his desire to protect his loved ones is something anyone can understand. We all have family and friends we care about deeply, and we do anything to keep them safe. Ichigo represents the hero inside an ordinary person, driven purely by love and a simple sense of duty to his people. I love hearing good things about Ichigo. I like that. He breaks the mold of the genre because he doesn't care about becoming the strongest, or he doesn't fight for himself or his own strengths, or it's always about protecting others. And yeah, about learning about himself. Excuse me. In first place, Bruno Bucciarati. What makes Bruno Bucciarati my favorite character in all of anime is his kindness and his determination to do what is right. My absolute favorite moment is the boat scene where he admits his betrayal against the boss. He knows he's asking for the impossible, and the crew knows they're risking their lives for a fight they didn't start. Yet, to his surprise, they follow him anyway. This moment perfectly shows their loyalty, trust, and empathy. They are completely devoted to him because, when society turned its back on them, Bucciarati was the only one who gave them a second chance and a place to belong. His life changing kindness created a bond that nothing could shake, an unbreakable loyalty, an unconditional trust, and an empathy born from shared pain, proving that those who have been hurt the most are the quickest to protect others. Note, I'll probably end up getting a tattoo of all three at some point. Ooh. They all have completely different designs, so I hope... Not completely different designs, but I don't think their color palette would match for like one arm tattoo. Like maybe two over here and one over here, or... Interesting. And next up, we have a Vert. I really just want to put Phospholite on this list, but I didn't want to get too far into the weeds if the gems are male or not. They aren't. Even last time with the female list, he said the same thing because the gems are not male or female, so they can't really be on these lists. But if you wanted to add them, as an extra, I would love to hear who is your favorite gem and why, Vert, for a future video. Because I'm definitely not going to do a new video entitled Who is your favorite non-gender something non-denominational something character in anime. But you do need a chance to talk about the gems, so I would love to hear. Vert, who is your favorite gem then? Your favorite non-genderized character. What do you call them? What do you call those people? I don't know. Kaoru Nagisa is in third place from Neon Genesis Evangelion or Evangelion. I never know how to say it. Evangelion. Evangelion. I don't know. Non-binary? But no, that's not it though. Non-binary is like, I have a penis, but I don't associate with it. The gems, I don't think have anything sexual organs. I don't know. Actually, I was joking. I have no idea what non-binary means. Don't take offense. But yeah, let's talk about Kaoru Nagisa. I can't think of a character that achieves more with less. He only really appears in one episode and some movies over a decade later, but with that time, he managed to become my third favorite male character and launch a million pieces of merch. I won't get into specifics because I think it's important that everyone comes to their own interpretation of Kaoru. Vert, send me more information. Everyone had already a chance to come to their own interpretation about Kaoru. I want to hear your interpretation about Kaoru. Okay, next up, Guts from Berserk. For my money, the Golden Age arc of Berserk, basically the events adapted in the anime, is the greatest single arc in any anime and manga. It is basically just Guts' sad backstory. He is the namesake of the struggler character archetype, and I don't think anyone has surpassed him yet. Yep, Bart being all mysterious. And then Shinji. Shinji Ikari, also from Neon Genesis Evangelion. The fact that there is as many people that hate Shinji as there are that love him speaks at least to his complexity as a character. I love Shinji because we see so much of who he is as a person, and not just what he goes through. He's cowardly and impossibly brave. He's disgusting and adorable. He's the strongest and the weakest. When he makes the worst decision any human has ever made, we understand why. And when he makes the best ones, we understand that too. I mean, not everyone understands, but you know what I mean. Or you can understand if you really want to. I'm not sure will ever see another character quite like Shinji, and that's okay. He's my favorite. But could anyone but Anno make it work? And the worst? Kazuya from Rent a Girlfriend. You. I like Shinji. I like that he's one of the most humanly written characters. Like it's like you can see, you can feel his humanity, his fragility, but also strength. That's exactly the human nature, the human, not the human nature, but the human. He's I don't know the word for it. He's a crybaby, but anyone would cry in his situation. Yeah, like he's Kazuya being awful is one of the few things the internet as a whole can agree on. Okay. Um, I read about 100 chapters of that manga, and honestly, I don't remember much about his character. I stopped reading because I don't like when I read a harem and I know who's gonna win. It's boring. So I stopped reading. But I really don't remember much about him. He was so like bland for me. But maybe I stopped right before. I did hear one. Yeah, I don't know. Kazuya. The manga's a joke right now. It's a non-stop memes. I'm gonna read it for the memes. I don't have time, but I wish I could. But yeah, Shinji. I am glad to say that I'm one of the people. I would love to actually watch my reactions to Evangelion, and then no, I want to rewatch NGE. Then I want to watch my reaction, my first time reaction. I want to see if I still feel the same way. But yeah, he to me is just so human, you know. But it's not always easy to watch. But whose life? If someone was watching your life 24/7, you know, at your lowest moments, it wouldn't be easy to see for anyone, and we get to see that side of him. We don't often get to see in shonen, because I watch so many shonen, we don't get to see, we get to see their saddest moments, but not their worst moments, their failings. And I'm not talking about, oh, I couldn't beat the bad guy, I wasn't strong enough. Human failure, mistakes that can never be undone, but that you have to kind of make peace with, and like stuff like that. I don't know, it's he's written very interestingly. Complexity as a character, that's what Vert said. Yeah. Next up, Mutton Skippy. This is for question of the week. I took a moment to think about it and reevaluate my picks at the last second, but my personal top 3 are Zoro from One Piece, Wakana from My Dress Up Darling, and the Spike from Cowboy Bebop. Zoro from One Piece because he reminds me so much of Wolverine as far as being that hardcore badass that oozes masculinity, yet can be surprisingly level headed and sincere when the time calls for it. Plus, out of all the Straw Hats, I feel he arguably has some of the best moments throughout the series. Thriller Bark alone was stuffed full of them. Wakana Gojo feels like watching myself as an anime character. Episode 4 of season 1 really hit home, as it's exactly the kind of thing I would have done given the same scenario. Episode 4 of season 1. I often have my battles with self worth. Self worth. I said it wrong. And try my best not to be a burden for others. But the quality I love the most is his passion to learn and grow, both as an artist and an individual. Thanks to Marin, he is slowly coming out of his shell and learning to embrace the world around him. Spike, mainly because of his laid back, chill demeanor and overall philosophy of whatever happens, happens. Plus, the fact that he actively practiced Jeet Kune Do, a form of martial arts created by Bruce Lee himself. I always loved seeing Spike in action, especially when Vicious was around. When Vicious was around? Oh, the blonde? Wait, what? Who's Vicious? One of the few times he'd ever lose his cool or get deadly serious about anything. Was that the blonde? Vicious. One Piece. Cowboy Bebop. Oh, that guy. Well, that's basically the blonde girl. That's his other girlfriend. I kid. Damn, that's a pretty badass figure. I'm not gonna lie. And then I hope you have an amazing stream and a wonderful day in general. Thank you, Muttons. I like to see someone say Zoro at least. Yes. Okay, Ragnar. I'm gonna read the number 2 first. Number 3 first. Okay, let's start with number 3. No, let's start with least favorite. Ragnar's least favorite. I'm going to choose between important characters only. Otherwise, I would pick random Tenryu Bito or Spandam. Mayuri. I'll try to be short here. For me, he's a villain and should be dead. The same applies to characters like Orochimaru and Frieza. You cannot present the character being an absolute villain and in the next arc make me like him for being funny or for fighting against other bad guys. He's introduced for having conducted cruel experiments on Quincy's. Yes, now we know they were enemies, but is in conducting crude experiments on enemies okay? No, of course not, and we shouldn't be okay with it. Including Uryu's grandfather, who is shown as a very good man. Also, the way he treats Nemu is awful. Uryu sacrificed his powers to defeat him and then never cared about him anymore. Why? It makes no sense to me. Yes, I can agree with that. I can see that. The thing is, I always say, in the arc where a character is the main antagonist, don't expect me to fucking laugh at their jokes or care about their sad backstory. Like, if they're not the main antagonist, maybe I can at least, oh, okay, so that's what happened to them. That's what made them who they were, whatever. Like, it's too late by then. But, you know, the more time goes by, I get, like, less attached. And then, I mean, it's like Crocodile, where he's just a cool design and, like, my memory loss helps. I've never been fond of Mayuri being seen as the good guy. I don't really think he's portrayed as a good guy, though. I understand not wanting to root for him at all, but he helps only because it's in his best interest. So he's not particularly a good guy, but it is weird that the people who are supposed to be the good guys, like, accept him as one of them. It's a bit... I don't really remember all the details of that, so yeah, when you think about it, kind of weird. So yeah, that's Mayuri. And then Ragnar's third favorite character is Seiya. What I love about Seiya, in part, also applies to all the main roster. It's hard to describe the feeling that Saint Seiya makes you feel. You have to watch it to fully understand. The pain and suffering that these characters feel in every fight, but they keep standing and fighting, the way they support each other. The reason I like Seiya more than the others is only because he was made to be more likable, with his protagonist type personality and his role in the story. Also, he wears red. Then in second place, Son Goku. I remember introducing someone to Bleach, and he asked, why does Yamamoto allow this person to go free? Kind of weird. You have to not think about it too much. It's like Naruto where child soldiers. Yes, let's accept that so we can continue on with the rest of the story. Okay, in second place, Goku. In this place should be Ragna the Blood Itch, but BlazBlue is not really an anime, it's a video game. The anime that exists only covers a small part of the story. So I'm going to say Ragna is the coolest character in all existence. But about Goku, where should I start? If he is not the perfect protagonist, who is? I love both his funny and serious side. He is the king of hype moments. He loves to fight, not just for justice, but to improve himself over and over. The nostalgia factor. He will always be my childhood the biggest reference. And then, in first place, I mean, the whole point of Naruto wanting to achieve peace is to bring down the child soldier system. So, yeah, but to enjoy the story, to enjoy a story about the child soldiers, you have to like wait for the end. Like, so you could say the same about Mayuri. Like, eventually, wait, I get what you mean. Mayuri doesn't, there's no goal to stop Mayuri. The child soldier system exists, but they want to bring peace so that the children don't need to fight. Eh. But the adults still make the children fight. Like, I just mean to say, like, I don't feel like the goal is peace, but you still have to watch kids fight. It's just kind of like I guess a similar-ish thing. It's the whole story is about that, you know? Whereas Mayuri is a small part. So I guess the comparison here is only while you're overlooking something to enjoy something else. In Naruto, it's literally the whole plot, but at least somewhere along the lines, the goal is to end this. Whereas with Mayuri, he's only like one character in. He doesn't really appear much, so it's much less to put up with for the larger extent of the story. It reminds me of when Orochimaru was walking around casually at the end, as if he didn't traumatize half the cast of Naruto. True. What the fuck? Even Sasuke. He should have been killed. That's maybe the best example within Naruto then. Orochimaru is like... Okay, but then again, that's after the fact. Not great, but okay, at least he's not doing it anymore. Mayuri always keeps doing it. Doesn't he? He's always a shit person. He's always a horrible person. He's always experimenting. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it. But with Naruto, you have to ignore it for the whole thing. Like, we're not accepting it, but we have to, like, not think about it too much because, well, at the end of the day, they're trying to stop this. But maybe... I don't know. When I first read Mayuri, I thought he was referring to Steins Gate, and I was confused. I don't know. But if we're saying Naruto is the same, like, you accept something because we're saying it's a necessity. We need child soldiers to fight for peace, so there are no child soldiers. So then you could make the same excuse for Mayuri. Well, we need Mayuri, we need his experiments because we need to create a world where his experiments are not necessary. We need bad people, and only when there's peace will we stop needing bad people and bad things and bad systems. Only once there's peace. I don't know. I'm not fully sure how to say it yet, but those things are kind of similar to me. Like, this is, we watch it because they're trying to create a peaceful world, and this will help them get there. So we accept it because, well, at least the goal is to end it. You can kind of say, well, Mayuri is necessary too for peace. He's a strong guy, he needs to fight, so we excuse him because we need his help. We excuse the use of child soldiers because we need their help. So then it's the same. Oh, okay. So let me just read Ragnar's last answer here. The number one favorite character, I relate with Yusei Fudo so much. He's my favorite anime character. He's from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5DS, I guess? If I had to create an anime protagonist, it would be exactly like him. He has calm and serious personality. I love his calm and serious personality, but he smiles at the right time. And he cares a lot about his friends. He also looks super cool. I am reading very difficultly for today. Sorry. As I said before, I prefer the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's main character in general for being more mature / older than the other seasons. It's also the matter that in Naruto the system is questioned, whereas after the Soul Eater arc, Mayuri's methods are never debated again by Uryu or anyone else. That's my problem with Mayuri. Fair. We've established I have a bad memory of Naruto though, so I honestly don't remember people questioning the system that much. Okay, I'm going to have to pause the video. Why did I look like that was a gang sign? Like, I'm going to have to pause the video. Like it was a secret sign to someone watching. No, I'm just going to... My hair tickled my chin. I'm going to have to pause the video. And then I'm going to post a One Piece short. And then I'll be back for whose answer is next. Mr. Draken Snado. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. Dark Shadow's answer in third place. Rei Kiriyama from Sangatsu. Our situations are not the same, but I can see a lot of parallels between myself and Rei, especially the me from 6 years ago. When I watched the anime, 6 years ago when I watched the anime. Back then, I was struggling with feelings of isolation and a lot of negativity about myself. So I quickly connected with Rei on a lot of levels, many times finding our thought processes to be in sync. After feeling like the odd one out for a long time, it was a great comfort to find a character that felt similar to myself, and then see him start to work through his negativity and find a place where he is happy and he feels like he belongs. For me, that was finding me, Kayla, and this community. I have grown and changed so much for the better because of the kindness and support we have provided throughout our friendship. Thank you for being here after all these years. After the ups and downs and the ranting, and even, as good friends do, cross words, but talking it out. And I think that's how you know, like, it's a real friendship because you don't always have to, you can disagree on things, you know, and still be friends. Ow. I didn't know that you like Sangatsu that much, so it's really nice to read. He's your third favorite character. And for such personal reasons. In second place, Levi. There are so many great characters in Attack on Titan, but across the entire series, there's nobody that stands out more in my mind than Levi. His calm demeanor and tactical mind are showcased not only in combat, when coupled with his tremendous strength, but also in his decision making, where he doesn't let himself be swayed by emotions, instead, trying to always do what is best for humanity. Due to his compassion and empathy, Levi strives to protect everyone, whether they be important comrades or a random stranger. He values life, and it hits him hard when he's unable to protect or save those lives. No matter how much pain he has suffered, he continues to press on and does what he believes is right, no matter who or what stands in his way. In a story that so often shows the worst aspects of humanity, for me, Levi represents some of the best aspects. That's very well said. A bit of hair? Thank you. It always annoys me when I see that later and no one told me. Okay, so now I definitely can't take a screenshot of this video in that moment. But I forgot, I don't make thumbnails for podcast videos with my face. Yes. How I handle my rewatches is that once I'm done watching an episode of a new show, I immediately go to check a YouTuber's reaction so I can get the refresher. I watched for One Piece, I watched the episode and then I watch my reaction to the manga. And I see if I still, like, did I have the same emotions? What was my theories at this point, now that I know so much more? And I love to see it! In first place, Dark Shadow's #1 favorite male character, Luffy. Before I started watching One Piece, I had heard about it in passing a few times and seen an image or two, but it never really grabbed my attention. After eventually starting and meeting our funny, lovable idiot of a captain, I was immediately hooked. Luffy's excitement and childlike wonder at every new adventure, big or small, that he comes across is infectious and something that we should try to emulate more in our own daily lives, as well as his determination to reach his dreams, no matter how impossible it may seem to others. It's not the fame, it's not the fortune that drives Luffy to want to be king of the pirates, but the personal importance he sees in what reaching that would mean. And the journey to it is just as important, something which can easily be forgotten in the world we live in. Yeah, it's like goals, 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 but the journey often gets squashed. Whereas One Piece, in its hundreds upon hundreds of episodes and chapters, emphasizes it's about the journey. It's about the journey, and there's more journey and more characters and more things to love and life. And fuck the government. What? Huh? Journey, goals, dreams, yes. I love his. Sorry, there are good governments. Don't. I was joking. I love his loyalty and dedication to his friends, defending not only them if they are attacked, either physically or verbally, but defending the things that they hold most dear. We all want to have a friend like that, who we can count on to have our backs. Luffy is an idiot and inept at most things, but throughout the series, one thing that has stood out to me the most is how emotionally intelligent he is, often seeing through to people's true intentions and feelings and doing or saying things that everyone else might balk at. But in the end, is the exact thing that we needed in the moment or for someone to hear. The exact thing that was needed in the moment or for someone to hear. And then, least liked, preface. For some reason, I originally thought this asked for most hated, but it doesn't change much. This was hard for me to decide because there aren't many characters that I would say that I legitimately hate. Sure, there are plenty of villains that I dislike, but in general, there is still some aspect of the character that I like. For example, an intelligent villain setting up plans and backup plans. A few possibilities that came to mind were Zeke and Spandam. However, after running through my watched anime to try to think of some others, Sho Tucker from FMA stood out. What he did to his wife was already bad enough, but then to do the same thing to his young daughter was more than enough to make my blood boil. For an MC answer that's more aligned to least liked, that would be Takemichi, only seen season 1. That's a good interpretation. I don't know what I meant when I said, your best character and your worst. Like, you could interpret that however you want, but I think most people did interpret it as like not necessarily villains, because villains are kind of like meant to be. So we could someday do like a best villains discussion, but I don't think I'd ever. I'd have to do like I'd have to run out of topics before I go there, honestly. Um. So, but yeah, Show Tucker just. Soto sent that t-shirt. Every time I hear his name, I think of that damn t-shirt. After seeing that FMAB episode, I fully agree. Vermilio says I need to start watching One Piece again. I stopped for a long time ago. Up to where did you watch? I would love for you to watch One Piece. Least liked. Oh, sorry, I read that. So thank you, Dark Shadow, for your well thought out answers. I love to see Ray on there and learn a little bit more about you and one of your favorite shows that I don't know, maybe I forgot. But good to see Luffy on another number one on someone's list. Okay. Villain topic will be a challenge for you. You think? There's different ways that I look at villains. Like, which one made me hate them the most? Which one's fans made me hate them the most? Or hate them more? Which ones were I don't know. There's lots of things you can. It would be. It would be an interesting video, but the moment someone starts about. I don't know. I don't think so. That reminds me of when I posted part 1. I posted part 1 to my YouTube community tab. And the first comment that was posted. So this is how the post looks. Best and worst male characters discussion. Comment your own answers and I will read them in part 2 on Sunday. So best and worst male characters. And then the first comment was, the best one has to be Eren from Attack on Titan. The worst one has to be Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. This is the kind of people who would be answering, and their answers will annoy me. So I don't think I have the heart to do that episode. I just be flipping tables. Cause I'd be like, okay, best villains. And then everyone's out here writing essays about why they love Eren. And I'm like, it might go wrong, like the controversial opinion ones. Go wrong for your heart rate, I mean. Exactly. If she needs to pick 3 that she likes, she can go Frieza, Cell, Boo, and problem solved. If I have to think about my best villains, I can think about, okay, 2 lists. 1, who made me hate them the most, and 2, like, who is the most entertaining. Like, if you take away, feelings about what stuff that they did, like Crocodile and Boggy are freaking entertaining. Frieza is freaking entertaining. Okay, next is Odinoko. In no particular order, but I'm going to read it from below. 3, the one and only Muten Roshi, original Dragon Ball Z and S. Work hard, study hard, play hard, eat and sleep plenty. I can do nothing less than admire him, even if it has some nostalgia to it, because his way of teaching is so interesting. And I think it influenced my worldview in some ways. In second place, Android 7 is a villain in theory, and you are fangirling every week now. He never even got a chance to do anything bad in our timeline, so that doesn't count. In second place for Odinoko, Major Colonel Karl Lichten Schwartz from Zoid's Chaotic Century / Zoid's Guardian Force. Due to spoilers and I hope that Kayla will one day see the series in like 2033, I can't say much, but I love his introduction and the way he, despite not being a main character, has such an impactful appearance in the series, both for his actions and his ideals, showcasing a different side of an antagonistic faction. So, oops, this is his picture. Aja. Got the cool kind of JoJo's cap, Jotaro cap, I guess. And then Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece, because he embodies his character better than anyone else. Driven, determined, kind, but not idiotically stupid. I guess some people would disagree with that, but I agree. His simple-mindedness isn't as much a flaw as a trait that lets him have a very clear perspective of his desires and impulse, his creativity, which I find admirable. I said admirable without stumbling. Honorable mentions, because I didn't want to repeat series or theme, but Goku, Usopp, Piccolo, Sanji, Zoro, Jiraiya. Oh, and least favorite? Light from Death Note. He's my Eren. I believe that says it all. And he can share the corner with every other edgy shithead who thinks they're smart because they bully the weak. Yay! We got to Menti's answer! Menti. You're here! You made it! It's so late, but I'm glad you're here. So I'm going to start at the bottom. In third place, this is a tough one. There's Levi and Law, but I decided to pick someone who haven't been mentioned yet. Asagiri Gen from Dr. Stone. At this point, I think Magician are my weakness, lol. I absolutely love his chemistry with Senku and their wholesome moments together, or when they plan something mischievous. Gen's side comments were my favorite, and it never failed to amuses me. I'm pretty sure I have Gen in Waifu Wars, and I have a key for him. So if you want to find like anyone, like, yeah, I have a key for Gen Asagiri. So I don't think I would make it a difficult trade, just to say, you know, I would be willing to trade him. It doesn't need to be the same rank or anything, but just someone that I know. Ooh, this is such a nice purple. Okay, sorry, just some waifu wars things. So your answer is Gen Asagiri, and then in second place, Kaito Kid from Detective Conan. The biggest reason why he stayed strong in my list, despite me not consistently watching the show anymore, is simply because he's my anime childhood crush. Until now, I still fangirl whenever he appears on screen. If you ask me which episode is my favorite, ooh, is that the movie that I watched with the blonde guy? Is that Kaito? No, I don't think so. Oh yeah, it's probably, I don't remember him being a magician. If you ask me which episode is my favorite, it's all the episodes with Kaito. The magician part of him just swoons you over, and I adore his costume design. Kaito Kid actually has his own series that focuses more on his side of the story. It's only 24 episodes, and I think people who haven't seen Detective Conan can still watch and enjoy it. Kaito Kid is a thief with a white tuxedo. That was Toru. Oh, I only know Toru from that one movie. Oh, okay. You do like the magicians. And then, yay, in first place, Luffy from One Piece. He's fun, he's free-spirited, and hilarious to watch. I enjoy watching his moments, whether it's badass, silly, or just plain ridiculous. In my opinion, he's a unique shonen main character, and that there's simply no one like him. And the least favorite character, dun dun dun. Just because I finished watching Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, I'm gonna say Naoya Zenin. I hate this misogynist bum. Interesting. So you just finished watching Jujutsu Kaisen season 3? Did you like it? Luffy, Kaito, and Gen Asagiri, but honorable mention to Levi and Law. Levi has been on quite a few lists. Is there any more after this, or I can read some of the YouTube ones? Serial killer turned government hit woman. Murcielago gets a TV anime adaptation. My turn. Well, I think at some point, I'm going to do a video. I told you guys. I mostly cleared. First of all, thank you to everyone who answered. I'm glad I got through everything. I mostly cleared my list over here. Okay, well, yeah, mostly cleared this list. I left those characters because I thought like I should take a screenshot first and see how much this changes when I switch things up. You probably prepared a whole list of your top 3 boys and the reason, right? Right? No, I want to do a whole video eventually. Or a whole stream and just music and chill. And we go through like my favorite. Wait, how do I set this? Formats, genres. Oh, sort by score. I don't know. Then I want to go through and I want to chat about which anime would still be in my top 10. You know, did it hold up with time? Because sometimes you have this recency bias where something's your favorite, but then does it lost? You know? I don't know. I really don't know how some of you did it so fast. Within a week you decided your top 3, but obviously Luffy would be in my number 1. I mean, Kuma is just like what he went through and the person that he still chose to be. Can there be anyone better? And then I think Goku suffers a little bit from like Dragon Ball Super was the godfather of shonen, right? A lot of this, how to say, not the publishers but the editors and stuff. I think they learned from what they put Toriyama through to some extent. And I think his writing was a bit influenced by the Mons, and I don't know that he could fully. So I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it just feels like Goku's character wasn't all that it could have been. And then on top of that, yeah, personally, Super does. I wouldn't say that it ruins his character or anything, but it drags out the story that. The characters have had kind of their arcs, and so they It's like beating a dead horse. And they take like the most light part of Goku's character and stretch it too thin. There's so much more to him, but Super never dares to explore it because they're only really there for the fights and to make money. There's less and less they care about the story it feels and the characters and the. So Goku is held back, honestly. I don't know. But best male characters. Luffy and Kuma. Like, Kuma's a saint. He's a gentle giant. And he's not perfect. He's got his flaws. Like, he let fear hold him back from his relationship with, what happened to Zoro. They never gave him a backstory. No, my favorite part, Zoro was my favorite character. Very early One Piece. I feel like he peaked for me. The writing of his character peaked during Arabasta. But then as the story expanded, we got less and less time with him. We didn't get to explore his character any further. It's like it just stopped. And yeah, that means that he's still top 10, but I mean, the other characters are explored to a further extent, so there's more to love. According to the spreadsheet, the best male characters are Luffy with 7 mentions, Zoro with 4, Levi with 4, and Goku with 4. Oh, tight. Zoro, Levi, and Goku. I love it. I'm glad there was no Eren mention. I think I scared a lot of people out of the community. I feel like if this was 5 years ago, nah, I don't think I scared them. I just think they left after Attack on Titan was over. I've definitely scared a few. But I feel like if this was 5 years ago, a lot of people would be saying Eren, Eren, Eren. Zoro was my favorite character when I watched One Piece. Oh, right. I wanted to read your message. You said, I don't remember which saga I stopped watching. It was in 2017. Searching here, I found out it was Enies Lobby, but I don't remember absolutely everything. If you ever have time, you should definitely pick it up again from the start. It's very, very long, but it's so worth it. It's more difficult in some parts than others. Trust me, Enies Lobby was for me very tough. There was a lot of running and running. Jeez. Are you gonna sleep now?
Counting the cats and closing the door and talking.
Okay. I'm gonna finish like in 30 minutes. 25. But you have to wake me up so we can leave by 12. Before 12. I imagine a lot of the Edgelord fans probably stopped caring for Eren after the ending and seeing that their MC was actually a mentally broken kid and not an emo power fantasy. That's probably why Akali just liked him up to part 3. Okay, this is tough. It's too hot still. So yeah, Luffy and Kuma. And then from there it's really difficult to me. I know Tamaki is here, but this is my young fangirling self. Realistically, third place would be between Bakugo and Ichigo. And I would probably I don't know. That's a real difficult one. Luffy because he embodies like joy and the freedom and being a good person without even thinking about it. Like, it's just a part of who he is. It comes so naturally to him, but he's not, that doesn't mean he doesn't make mistakes. So he's still very human. And he's an amazing friend. He cares so much for, his people. So what is not to love about Luffy? When I see him, he makes me happy, and that's why he's my favorite character. Kuma, I love him because of the choices that he makes despite what he went through, and how he's so strong, and so, like, he has a lot of power and stuff, but he never abuses it. But he holds on to his faith like that. He's such a person, but that part is so delicate about him, so soft and sweet. And so yeah, for his choices, and his story is not over. I don't know. And just how much good he chose to do. Sometimes I feel like I want to say good reasons, but then I'm like, if you watch the anime, you would know. Bakugo I like because he's a shouty boy. And also, as I said, his blessings were almost his greatest curse. And I like that it's different for a shonen. It showed, like, he wasn't perfect from the beginning, and it shows how strength can be a weakness, can be a curse. But thankfully, yeah, he had all that time with Deku to get back to the point where I feel like they were always going to be, which was rivals who drive each other forward. So that almost fall to seeing the two of them grow together to where they ended up, like, I think that's very very well written. But I like Bakugo more just because I can relate to the part where, I don't know, he's got a bad temper and he has to I don't know how to put it. I just think he's relatable compared to Deku, who is a very lovable character, but it's the typical underdog story for me a little bit. So I liked Bakugo as a parallel in that story, and it was more interesting. And then Ichigo Kurosaki, but some of that is based on nostalgia. I have to plan carefully to start watching again because there's a lot to cover, but even so, I'm excited because I remember really enjoying it. And to this day, I don't know why I stopped. Sometimes it's just time. Like, I was reading One Piece and I read it from chapter 1 to 430. I don't remember reading that much. I don't remember why I stopped, but picking it back up at any point. There's no rush, thankfully. So you can enjoy it whenever you have time. If you count my vote for Zoro, you need to count Dragon Shiryu. I mentioned both as tied in the third place with Hyuga. You can't pick only one of the two. And then Angelo Vucinaj says, what really enhances Luffy's character is how his core values contrast with the world around him. In a world ruled by a corrupt government who only cares about control, Luffy's sense of freedom clashes with the world around him, which makes for a lot of drama in the story. It kind of reminds me about how when you have bad people doing bad things, right? That means that gives an opportunity for good people to fight them, so they don't do bad things. This is the simplified version of this discussion. But then the good people try and keep things good, and then that means stronger bad people and stronger good people. They keep having to like, and then you get Gojo. Or even it's like the whole Goku theme where he's like, oh, it's my fault that bad people keep coming. And I'm like, almost feels natural, like for light has dark, or night has day, hot has cold. It's almost like in a natural way, nature and balance, you know? So the more extreme the government got, it's like naturally people like Luffy will be born to almost counter. I wonder. In English, my name is pronounced Angelo, so you can call me that. I'll try and remember. So yeah, those would be my favorites. Tamaki is there just because, like Minty said, crush. I had a bigger crush on him. But I also, there's more to him. He's introduced as this lover boy, rich kid, but you learn so much more about him. And if it was just about crush, then Shirogane from Tokyo Mew Mew would be on this list. But he's more than a crush. He is a crush. But what's really special about that manga is that, I mean, the anime only gives you so much information. It's the first season is like very much fun and games, whereas later you learn about these characters and their home lives and what make them who they are. So I like his attitude about life, and he's romantic and handsome. So there's various reasons why I love him, but it mostly boils down to I have a big crush on him. Regarding Goku, I didn't want to say too much because you haven't finished watching the anime, but I have to agree that so far Super has regressed his character development. Even though it's my favorite, I can't ignore this fact, which is quite sad for me. I almost want to say it's not like, to me, it's not like he regressed a lot. It's just like they made him very one-dimensional. I feel like they focus on this part of his personality and that's all. Like there's no, like they spread it too thin. That's what I tried to say. Like they drag it, and it just feels like Super in general is only written for, like when I watched Dragon Ball Original, when I watched Z, it wasn't, there was more to it than just setting up big fights. There was like meaning, and I don't know why, but Super feels like the story is superficial. The characters are superficial for the most part. And that makes Goku feel superficial sometimes. Just because they don't delve into the story, they don't delve into anything. There's no nuance. I don't know. It's subtle, but it dilutes his character for me more than regresses it. It's a small difference, but I just wanted to distinguish what. Yeah, it's tough to. Gotta love the contrast between Super and GT in regards to Goku's character. The former has Goku with the body of an adult, but with the mind of a child, and the latter has the body of a child, but the mind of an adult. In GT, he's in the body of a child again, but he still thinks like adult Goku. But then in Super, it seems like, well, he's in his adult body, but he's got the mind of a child. But I still, it's a dimension of his character, so I still love him, but it's one small dimension that they just run with. Only that one dimension. Like that's what it feels like. But I don't think it's only Goku. I think it's Super itself, and it reflects on Goku. I don't know if Vash would stay in my top 10 long term, just because I really need to finish the story. Like, it feels a bit difficult sometimes to put a character on my list and keep him there very, very long term if I don't see like his full, like, I stop the story in the middle and what happens after that. I disagree with GT Goku. GT Goku is not feel like Goku at all. He has zero motivation. He's hardly excited for anything and looks like he's only solving problems because the rest of the cast is non-existing. I only recognize GT Goku when he's funny and naive as a kid. I think he just doesn't mean like GT Goku is the better Goku. I just think it means like even the GT Goku is less one-dimensional and childlike. Like, it's not so much to promote or to say good about GT Goku. It's mostly to say that the extreme way that Super makes him simple-minded and like that, as if that's all there is to him, I think. But that was my interpretation of their message. Like, I didn't take it as GT Goku is the better Goku. I just take it as like the irony between, two things that came after Z. Like, this is the one I prefer just because at least he doesn't act like that. Which is just a bit a bit childish, a bit simple, a bit diluted, as I said. That maybe is the best word. One positive thing I'll say about Super, a lot of its filler episodes are funny. Oh, I do think that we will have, when I finish the movies, I'm doing a question of the week about Super. No, yes, about Super. I think there's a difference between people being simple-minded and being a dumbass, which Goku wasn't always stupid before, but now... That's from Odinoko. Can you stop? Thank you. I swear to God, I cut this fringe, like, when it does this. Okay, wait, now it's better. It looks equal now, but this side is slightly longer. Do you see? But then when I do this side is longer. It's a bitch. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I need to finish up very fast with the YouTube comments. So on the main channel, on the post that I made, you have the one person saying, the best one has to be Eren from Attack on Titan. The worst one has to be Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. And I replied, what are your reasons? It's boring if you can't even give some thoughts on it. And then he never replied, so he was just trying to rage bait. That's the kind of person that is rage baiting, in my opinion. People say others are rage baiting whenever they say something that's, but if someone is giving lots of reasons and they're being very, that's not rage baiting. Rage baiting is when you say something you don't even mean or care about just to get a rise out of people. It doesn't mean every comment that gets a rise out of people is automatically rage bait. Some people really think, best example, sorry Espada, to bring it up again, is Espada's thoughts from a couple of videos ago. He's not rage baiting. He's not trying to make people angry. He really feels that way. And just because it makes you angry doesn't mean it's rage bait. And the people never, like, during Attack on Titan days, I raged many a time. And then people are just like, they're rage baiting. I wish they were rage baiting, but these people actually feel those things. That's what makes me rage. If it's bait, it wouldn't. I'd be like, ugh. I know the difference. Sometimes you struggle, especially during the peak of the Attack on Titan drama. Sometimes you just see red. But I mean, it's been a few years. Now I can tell the difference most of the time. People who are just rage baiting more often than not won't write 5 paragraphs about why they're... Maybe. People who are just baiting, they wouldn't write 5 paragraphs. They wouldn't get worked up themselves to that extent. They just say things like this. Eren from Attack on Titan is the best and Tanjiro sucks. Reasons? Okay, then this person says in Dragon Ball the best male characters are. Oh wait, he's giving. Okay. In Dragon Ball, his best is King Piccolo, his worst is Garlic Jr. In Bleach, his best is Aizen, his worst is Tosen. Who's Tosen? In Naruto, his best is Hiruzen, his worst is Danzo. And in One Piece, his best is Kiros and his worst is Diamante. Kiros? That's surprising. The black blind guy. Why? Why is he so bad? I mean, but see, that's the problem when you just give answers and you don't give reasons. Now we have to wonder. Why? You can't wonder about someone's reasons for something like this. Then on the podcast video, there are 10 comments. Although some of them are replies from me. JB says, from a criteria of transcendence and motivation, the best is Goku. He represents courage, determination, hard work, and thinking on the go. He's the only character I think about daily and randomly. Many times while working or working out or watching combat sports or even NFL, NBA, when a player performs well or when a person snaps on someone we say. He went Super Saiyan. I read that right. The sentence is a bit lumpy towards the end. But basically, performing at the high level or going crazy is associated with going Super Saiyan, which he associates with Goku. Takemichi from Tokyo Revengers is the worst. He's stupid. Not in an endearing way, like Goku or Luffy. He's cowardly. Basically how Luffy describes Kobe in the early days. Takemichi offers no real life transcendence or inspiration. Espada said, I like Garo in season 2. I didn't like him in season 3. So I think this was in response to Cherry or someone mentioned you liking Garo. And you just said you liked him in season 2 only, but not in season 3. He was driving the story forward in season 2. He was a douchebag, but he embraced it. Who he was or what he was. In season 3, the story tried to make it so we felt sorry for him. With the little kid that he was with, as if we should have some sympathy for him, and I felt it was very forced and not well done. So all in all, I remember that I enjoyed season 2 more. And my response was, in season 2, the story was the same. Like, the anime quality was getting progressively worse from season 2 to season 3, but story-wise, it was the same Garo. If you think season 3 is trying to make us feel sorry for him with a kid, season 2 did the same. Like, it showed him being bullied, which ended up shaping a lot of his personality and decisions. But showing the flashback in parallel with his actions at the time, it also makes it seem like you're supposed to feel sympathy. Too early, in my opinion. As a character, his beliefs didn't change from season 2 to season 3, and neither does his actions. He was never shown to hurt children. So, to me, nothing about him changed from season 2 to season 3. Personally. Ow. I watched One Punch Man while it was airing and I liked Gato in season 2. Yes, I am ashamed. Ballot point. Okay, that's from a different conversation. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think, to me, from my memory, that Gato changed. He was always the same asshat. I feel like what you want to see, though, is him unashamedly just fucking people up. And he didn't do it as much in season 3, so you didn't like that. That's what it's about. But he was always shown like it's not like he beats up superheroes with superpowers, but he was never shown to fuck up kids. He wasn't that kid. What you said now. Okay. So that's what it boils down to. Fair. Then we have this one says Goku, and the last one says the best is Musashi Goda, captain of the Body Improvement Club from Mob Psycho 100, and the worst is Bundle from Elfen Lied. Oh my gosh, I hate him. Who is Bundle? Bundle Elfen Lied. I kind of remember him. His combat skills, bloodlust, and single-minded determination made him one of the top agents. He was usually highly apathetic, sadistic, aggressive, and decidedly antisocial, but primarily driven by his personal sense of honor and obligation. Also, Zod. I kid. So I'm glad we got to do part 2 today. Any final thoughts, questions? Oh, I didn't say my least favorite. I don't know. Least favorite based on what marker? Like badly written, or like I love to hate them, like a worst villain, but the villain is very well written. It has to be like Sho Tucker or Spandam. If it's I used to have a list. Blackbeard was on that list when he killed a specific someone. My top 10? I mean, we talked about that a little bit. I showed it over here. These are my current top 12 boys and top 12 girls. But I need to adjust this and I would make some changes, but I have a lot to consider. It'll take a lot of time. What character that you are not supposed to hate makes you dislike the story whenever he's around? Lady Gaga. I'm joking. I'm joking. It was just a reference to the discussion we had recently about actors that we don't really like to see in movies. I would have to kind of like refresh. Let me see. I mean, Lelouch. But once again, I haven't seen his full arc. And he's just Eren 2.0, it feels, but I think because I've seen Eren's whole story, I think I can really appreciate the intricacies of how he was written. Okay, wait. Let me think about this for a second. Characters that I'm not supposed to dislike him. I'm not supposed to hate them, but makes me dislike them when they're around, or makes me dislike the story when they're around. I mean, Vegeta for a large part of Dragon Ball Z, but it's mostly because of his fans. Mostly because that's how I feel about Sasuke. There are more hateable characters in Naruto, but you are supposed to hate them anyway. Sasuke is not one of those characters, but makes me enjoy the story less when he's around. So, who did I just say? For me, it's Tiddy from Persona 4. Oh, I haven't played Persona 4, but I hope I can. Oh, yeah, Vegeta, but mostly because of his fans. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, Haruhi Suzumiya. I really dislike her. I liked the story and the tone and the, oh, fuck. Male. I don't know. Angels of Inohana. Pareranman. Ayano Koji is a good one. But I wouldn't even say that I disliked him. I not enough to make him my most disliked. I didn't like him, but you can say Kuririn after killing Baby Cell. Someone got really offended that I don't say, and other people still get really offended that I roll my eyes whenever Vegeta says something. And I'm like, and Cherry, this is off topic, but there was this episode of, just on the topic of people getting offended, there was someone. Okay, wait, let me tell you the context first. It's an episode of Dragon Ball, and these three side characters are like personally invested in another character's like life and drama. And I was making a joke about how these characters are watching him like he's some K-drama. And then a Japanese person said that, oh, I really like your videos, but don't dare to compare this to K-dramas. Korea took everything from blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whoa. You're making this very personal. You're making this about something that it's completely not about. And I didn't even know like what to say to them. I was like, all I could say was, your reaction to a random throwaway joke seems unhealthy. Like, this seems like some personal, I know a lot of cultures have very bad vibes between each other and stuff. But I didn't. To be fair, the story those three had in their head was 100% K-drama. Exactly! It was like this throwaway joke about a little... They talked as if I compared the Dragon Ball universe to K-dramas. As if I attributed it to a different culture, or... It was like a throwaway joke about three random side characters' investment in another character's life. Like, I was so thrown by that. They took it very literally. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I have an answer. It wasn't always that way, but eventually Araragi. I think I. It's kind of like what you said, where you're not supposed to dislike him, but as the story progresses, he makes me less and less invested in the. What about Shigure from Fruits Basket? You're meant to dislike him a little bit, aren't you, eventually? But Araragi is kind of like, he's the main character. So maybe I feel about him the way that some people feel about Gon or Naruto. So, and like I said, it wasn't always like that. It was just kind of, as time went on, I end up liking him less and less. And to the point where I stopped watching the show because I didn't really want to hear him talk. Dark Shadow says, Araragi is a good answer for you. Thank you. I remembered something. There probably is one or two characters in Bungo. There's one character, an antagonist that you're supposed to dislike, but I didn't just dislike him, I disliked the writing around his character, and it made me drop Bungo. I probably won't continue. If there's ever a season 6, I probably won't continue it because this character put me so off. Where is he? you guys remember him? Is it the no? He's an old man. I don't know what. Is it this? Is it this guy? Yeah, yeah. Fukuchi. Ochi Fukuchi. Like Fukyuchi. I don't know. I didn't like the writing of him, and he made me dislike the show. That's how much I disliked him. I say that as being on the Monogatari journey alongside you. Araragi is complicated for me. There are many things about his character I like, but an equal amount that I don't. In particular, yeah, the lolicon stuff that pisses you off. I feel like I shouldn't continue Monogatari because at the point I stopped, I still like Araragi. Where did you stop? Cherry had a good answer. Where? One day you will have to ask for most hated character in any media. Am I hate? For most hate character will look like I'm in love with Sasuke by comparison. Ooh. We are watching more and more movies and playing games, and we could one day expand the topics. It will always be anime-chan, but we could talk about other media also, because I don't know, in the next 10 years I'm bound to read one Marvel comic. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm going to have a snack and get ready for bed and try and get up early. It was a super fun weekend. It went by so fast, especially Saturday. Pokemon. But I'll see you guys on Wednesday for reactions. I'm finishing the last 4 episodes of Dragon Ball. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous. But we still have 2 movies. We have Daima, we have the manga, and we have Dragon Ball Abridged. When are we getting to that? Then I should have watched Abridged. Honestly, I regret not watching Abridged before Super, to be honest with you, because that's when people watched it. They didn't have content for years. And they enjoyed, the Dragon Ball Abridged. I'll also be posting my double Witch Hat reaction on Thursday, double Dr. Stone reaction on Thursday, and probably 3 more episodes of Mushishi. And then we have to decide. I'll ping you guys during the week. But I don't know what game I'm playing on Friday yet. I don't know and what I should do Saturday before Pokemon. Are we doing bonus movies? Are we starting Hunter x Hunter manga finally? What was the other options? I don't know. But yeah. Thank you for the stream. Enjoy your snack and sleep well. Thank you, Dark Shadow. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, Minty. Thank you, Bernard. In your defense, you didn't know Super was gonna be that bad. Some people may have led you to believe it's good. Parts of it are memorable, but there was no rush to get to it, honestly. I'm surprised I was able to stay up until now. I'm glad I joined for question of the week. I hope you have a great week ahead and look forward to coming back to Discord after the exams. Ganbare, ganbare! Cherry, do your best! Thank you, Vermilio. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Do your best, whether it's studying or work or going to the gym. Just do it consciously. Don't rush anything. When you do something, tell yourself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my best. And make sure to have some fun every day.